CookingWithAlia, and welcome back for a new recipe. When I used to live in the East Coast, I really enjoyed going to New York, sitting in a cafe, and eating a piece of cheesecake. Now that I'm in California, I decided to celebrate July 4th by making my own New York-style cheesecake. And of course, I'm going to share the recipe with you. There are a couple of things that you need to know about baking a cheesecake. Sometimes cheesecakes get cracks on top. This happens because when you put the cheesecake in the oven, the air bubbles in the batter warm up and rise, so they create the crack. What we're going to do is avoid incorporating too much air in the batter. To do so, beat your batter at low speed and also don't overbeat it. The other reason why this happens is because the oven may be too dry, so we're going to bake our cheesecake in a water bath. That gives it a superb creamy texture. So now you know. The other thing is, this recipe is not a diet recipe. So if you're in a diet, I suggest that you make the recipe, share it with your friends and family, and just get a little tiny piece of it. Deal? So let's start! A 12-ounce pack of graham crackers, and here I'm using honey graham crackers. Feel free to use a graham crackers of your choice or other biscuits. 8 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of sugar, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 4 cream cheese packages, 8 ounces each, 4 large eggs, 3/4 cup of heavy cream, 1 cup and 1/4 of sugar, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and because I'm crazy about vanilla, I'm going to add a vanilla bean, and 2 oranges that we're going to use for the zest. And remove your ingredients from the fridge half an hour before using them because we need them to be at room temperature. Preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit degrees. Using the food processor, we're going to mix the graham crackers until you get a fine powder. After mixing most of it, you'll have to pulse instead of just mixing to get rid of the other chunks. To make the crust, we're going to mix the graham crackers with the salt, sugar, and melted butter. So make sure you melt your 8 tablespoons of butter. To make a cheesecake, you need a spring-form pan, and this pan has 2 pieces, the center and then the side, and you can see the side can open up like that. Some people bake the cheesecake directly in the oven. I prefer to bake it in a water bath because the texture of the cheesecake is much creamier. So I'm going to wrap the bottom of the pan with foil paper so that the water from the water bath doesn't get in. To make the crust, we're going to press in the pan the graham cracker mixture. Use your fist to do so. Bake the crust for 7 minutes. When the crust is done, get it out from the oven and let it cool down while preparing the cream cheese filling. Now we're going to zest the oranges. To make the cream cheese filling, we're going to use a stand mixer with a paddle. The goal is to have a thick and rich and dense cream cheese filling, so we don't want to introduce too much air on it. So don't use the beater because you're going to introduce air on it, and also the speed of the stand mixer should be low for the same reason, because if you beat it at high speed, you're going to introduce too much air. First, we're going to mix the sugar with the orange zest. This is an optional step. We're going to add the vanilla bean to the orange zest and sugar. I got this vanilla bean from India. I actually got many of them and I'm using them everywhere. So first you slice your vanilla bean like this, and then you open it, and now you scrape it. And that's what actually we're going to use. It's the sandy substance inside the vanilla bean. Look how full this vanilla bean is. We're going to mix the cream cheese with the sugar mixture. Make sure that the cream cheese is at room temperature. Add the cream. Use a spatula to push the batter on the sides. Add the eggs one at a time. Don't add the next egg until the first egg is completely incorporated. Add the vanilla extract. The last step before baking is to put the cream cheese filling in the crust. I'm preparing the water bath to cook the cheesecake, so I'm going to boil water. Place a shallow baking pan in the oven and preheat your oven to 350 Fahrenheit degrees. This is the baking pan we're going to use, so we're going to put the cheesecake pan here and add water in the sides. But we want the baking pan to be hot when we do that, so we're going to put it in the oven now. Place the cheesecake in the shallow baking pan. Now add the boiling water around the cheesecake. Make sure not to put boiling water on the cheesecake. Gently push the wrap back. After 50 minutes of baking the cheesecake, you can see that the sides are set, but the center is kind of jiggly. So what we're going to do now is turn off the oven and let the cheesecake rest in the oven for 1 hour. After letting the cheesecake set in the turned off oven for 1 hour, we're going to remove it from the oven, remove the foil paper from the pan, and let it sit until completely cooled down. After the cheesecake is completely cooled down, we're going to cover it with foil paper and put it in the fridge for 5 to 6 hours. I let the cheesecake rest overnight, so now we're going to open the mold. I would leave the cheesecake in the lower part of the mold and just place it in a plate. To freeze the cheesecake, put it uncovered in the freezer for a few hours. Then take it back and cover it with foil and a plastic wrap, then freeze it for up to 2 months. Serve the cheesecake cold with some fruits like strawberries and blueberries. Bon appétit!